Not that person has anything to gain from that action personally. Even a worldly person has something to gain from action: money, status, success, or just the struggle to survive. And the spiritual seeker also has something to gain. We also have something to gain from action. It's a spiritual practice. It purifies the mind. It frees us from selfishness. So it's a powerful spiritual service, a spiritual practice. Service is a powerful spiritual practice for us. But the enlightened person does not need a spiritual practice, does not need worldly goals. So why does the enlightened person act? For the welfare of others. The third attitude. Always keep your, most important, Atmanam Satatam Janam. So this is possible only for the enlightened person who is always established in the vision of Brahman. That Satchidananda ever shines, unmistakably. It's open to that person. And then how will time pass? Time will pass as the Prarabdha Karma dictates. Prarabdha Karma, let me tell you a little bit about the theory of karma. This is a nice segue into the next section which is coming up, next verse. According to Vedanta, or Indian thought in fact, our present life, I'm not talking about Brahman, I'm talking about right now, basic level, the way life appears to us. This body and this life, how did we get it? It's the result of karma. What karma? My past karma. I have existed in many bodies earlier. By I, who do I mean? This individual being which has got worldly and spiritual goals. First worldly goals and then slowly matures to spiritual goals, whatever. This individual being, Sanskrit word, jiva. What is this jiva? Pure consciousness, Atman, limited by the mind. So this jiva has gone through many births. Krishna tells Arjuna in the Gita, you and I, O prince, have lived many lives. I remember them all, you do not. Now, as we go through those lives, we accumulate karma. We do work. We do some things consciously. Whatever we do has a result. What you do consciously, deliberately has a result. I'll go a little more into detail here. Anything that we do has three kinds of results immediately. One is the gross physical result which you see there. You feed a hungry person, the person gets fed, his hunger is assuaged, and so you've done a good deed. That's clearly, you can see that. That's there. That's result number one. Result number two is the effect on our own minds. When I share my food with a hungry person, it develops the samskara of sharing. It has an effect on my mind. Any work that you do has an effect on the world outside and has an effect on your mind. Right? That's also pretty easy to understand. It develops a samskara. If you repeat it, it becomes a tendency in your mind. Good tendencies, bad tendencies, good habits, bad habits, they all are there. Second result. But what we are concerned here with is a third result, which Vedanta or Indian thought speaks about, which it calls actually karma. It means karma phala, a cosmic result. Do something good and something pleasant is going to happen to you. It works this way. Dharma, punya, sukha. Do good. Good means dharma. Result is punya, merit. Merit. So in Eastern civilizations, you have the concept of merit. Doing good things earns you. So your bank balance goes up. You have a positive balance, more merit. It's credit, it is put in your account. And what's the result? What good is that merit? That merit generates happy experiences, pleasant, good things happen to you. And the opposite is also true. Adharma, papa, dukkha. Consciously, deliberately do evil, the result will be demerit, called papa or sin or demerit. And the result of demerit is unpleasantness. Something nasty is going to happen to me because of my demerit. And the demerit has come because of my consciously doing evil things. So this merit and demerit generate sukha dukkha, pleasant and unpleasant experiences in life. And to generate that, to make sure that we experience the results of our karma, we have these bodies. These bodies are given to us by God, Ishvara, Saguna Brahman. And they are generated because of our past karma. So the accumulated karma of each one of us over many, many lifetimes, it is called Sanchita karma. The accumulated karma. Karma means the total results, which will merit and demerit. Merit and demerit, accumulated, is called Sanchita karma. Literally, the word Sanchita karma means accumulated karma. When is it accumulated? Past lives. I don't remember it. You don't need to remember. It's accumulated. And a part of that Sanchita, accumulated karma, becomes active from time to time. Becomes active means merit and demerit start giving their respective results. What are the respective results? Sukha dukkha, pleasant, unpleasant. And to experience that set of pleasant and unpleasant results, we get bodies. And we come to this world and we experience. That's the general picture. This part of the accumulated karma, which has become active and has generated a body, this life, that part of accumulated karma is called prarabdha karma. That which has become activated karma. Karma is merits and demerits of many, many lifetimes. Activated karma is merits giving happiness, demerits giving misery, and our life is a mixture of the two. The body is generated by that karma. That's the fuel which is at the back of this body. Our age, how long are you? How long are we going to live? Generated by the prarabdha karma for this body. Prarabdha karma for this body. What major illnesses will I have? Generated by the prarabdha karma of this body. What were my parents like? Generated by the prarabdha karma of this body. I heard the story of this young woman who had come to Hollywood many, many years ago. Swami Prabhavanandaji was the Swami. A very senior nun told me the story. She had a miserable life. And she couldn't stick to the practices in Vedanta society. She kept coming and going back and suffering in society, coming back again and going back again. And so on. Finally, she committed suicide. I think she died. She committed suicide at a young age. And the Swami went to see her dead body. And this person who was very close to the Swami, standing nearby, she heard this nun. She told me that the Swami actually went there, looked carefully at her face, and then went close to her ear, the dead body, and whispered, "Next time, my child, choose your parents carefully." But how do you choose your parents? Our karma. You really cannot choose your parents. You don't fill out a form. You don't fill in a form that, I want parents like this or that. You can't. It's my karma. You can't, it's just the opposite of the modern fashion of blaming one's mom and dad for everything that's bad in my life. This is just the opposite. I got this mom and dad because of my karma. Okay, so that's prarabdha karma. How long am I going to live? How long is this body going to live? As long as its prarabdha karma lasts. If the prarabdha karma is there for no matter, a person may be shot and wounded and suffered all sorts of disasters in life, will go on living. If the prarabdha is finished, the tiniest little pinprick will lead to an infection and the body will pass away. You can't stop it. Yes, I'll come to you.
Yeah, so from the Sanchita karma, which is accumulated karma from the past, how is the prarabdha karma decided? Because the prarabdha karma is telling
Yes.
how long his body lives.
How it's decided, the bank manager alone knows. We don't know. But there's a common kind of folk thinking in India that karma paripakva, that means when the karma ripens and we get the result of our karma. So it's a dynamic process which is going on. It's not in cold storage. It's a dynamic process, and I don't know what kind of process they follow. First, they have these inventories, first in, first out, or last in, first out, LIFO. I don't know what they follow, but some things they come. One thing they do say, ugra karma, intense good karma or intense bad karma gives results first. I may have lots of past karma, but an intensely done good karma or bad karma now will give it result first. That stuff will come later. And we have to experience our karma. As we experience our karma in this life, the problem is we are generating new karma. If you want this to continue, then it's a good thing. If you generate good new karma, your future lives will be better. The new karma which I'm generating now, by consciously doing good or bad, reacting to the things which life is throwing at me, my karma is throwing at me, I'm generating new karma. That's called agami karma. Agami means to come. To come, that which is coming. This karma will be added to my accumulated karma. So I am adding to my stock of karma. I'm exhausting past karma in this life. I'm adding to my stock of karma. In Jainism, some of you may have heard, that's a religion in India that's very ancient. Historically, at least as ancient as Buddhism, because Mahavira was an elder contemporary of the Buddha. So that's at least 2,500 years. But if you go by the Jain tradition, Mahavira was the last of the Tirthankaras, last of the great masters who came and taught, 23 of them. So they go back several thousand years before that also. At least that's the claim. So it's very ancient. It's the most austere religion on earth. Extremely austere. Jain monks, they wouldn't be sitting like this. They would be horrified. They would consider this. You're dressed up in... The good Jain monk will be nude. Will never wearing clothes. In fact, there's a sect of Jain monks called the Digambaras. So, who means sky clad in the sky. They're so austere that if you wear clothes, you are not fit for enlightenment. Food is extremely restricted. And all kinds of things. We invited one of them to give a talk at our center in Calcutta. And this Jain monk is to live in a place in Rajasthan, which is on the western part of India. And the monk said, "Oh, but you should have invited me earlier, but I can't go now. The seminar is, the lecture is 2 months hence. Why can't you come?" I said, "But I have to walk. Let alone aeroplanes and ships. No cars. It's a sinner who gets on a car." So these monks, even till today, wherever they go, they'll walk. So you have to invite him 6 months or a year in advance, so that he'll walk and barefoot, of course, no question of shoes or anything like that. Very austere. Now, why? Also, another important thing I must mention, though it's not relevant right here, they're the most non-violent of all religions. Sam Harris, in one of his talks, he said, truly peaceful religion, if you talk, most religions have components of some kind of violence in them. Truly peaceful religion, if you want to say, there's only one religion, he says, that is called Jainism. Most of you don't know about it, he says. And he says, the more extreme a Jain gets, the less you have to worry about him. Because the more non-violent he'll get. They wear filters so that they won't kill bugs, germs. They walk with a fan in the hand so that they can gently sweep aside the crawling insects so that they don't step on an insect, and so on. So they're like that. But the point why I'm telling you this is, one of the reasons why they do this taking on so much suffering on oneself, is this idea. They are very big on karma. For them, our real bondage is karma. We are trapped because of bad karma. So the more I suffer and more austere I am, the more my prarabdha gets exhausted. And the less agami karma, the less new karma I generate. If I do generate any karma, it's good karma, simple karma, not bad karma. Yes?
Wouldn't good karma still have to be, the results would still have to be experienced, so you still have to come back and experience it?
Absolutely, absolutely. That's why in Vedanta, good karma and bad karma are both bad karma. Vedanta will say that ultimately there is no good karma. It traps you.
Well, then, so how would someone like Swami Vivekananda not have to come back and performing all these great actions?
All right.
That are...
I'm coming to that, yes. Vivekananda or Krishna or any enlightened person like Buddha, the answer to that last question is important. Once you're enlightened, something interesting happens. The jiva no longer exists as such. Jiva brahmaiva napara. You realize you are Brahman. And yet you function through a particular body and mind, which people of the world will call the enlightened person's body. When the person, You don't think you are this body. You realize you are Atmanam Satatam Janam. The vision of the Atma, Satchidananda, is ever before you. You realize that. But other people in the world will say, oh, that person is an enlightened person. Here is an enlightened person. We say, we point to the body. So the person still acts through the body. Now what happens to the karma that's generated through the body? Because you're acting. If there's karma, then you have to be born again. What happens on enlightenment? Two things happen. One, no new karma will be generated. Since there is no agent of karma, this is called karta, the agent. There is nobody who is actually doing karma there. So there is nobody to whom karma will accrue. Brahman does not do any karma. Akarta. Enlightened, what does the enlightened person see action as? In the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it's there. Prakrityeva karmani kriyamanani sarvasha ya pashyati tathatmanam akartaram sapashyati. The one who sees all actions being done by Prakriti, nature, Maya, or by God's wish, whichever way you have it. Then what does that person think about oneself? The self which is acting, he sees that the self is not an actor, not an agent of action. Akarta sees oneself as non-doer. That person really sees. What Advaita Vedanta claims is we are already non-doers. We don't know our non-doer self. We don't know the real self. We think we are this body and mind. So be thinking that, feeling that, being convinced of that, when we act, results come to us. So that's what's happening. First, so 2 points. First, for an enlightened person, no new karma is generated for which that person will have to suffer or enjoy. No new karma comes to that person. Second, what about past karma? The entire accumulated karma of many lifetimes. Sri Ramakrishna says, a mountain of cotton. You throw a matchstick into that, it will burn up in an instant. So the Upanishad says, Kshiyate chasya karmani tasmin drishte paravare. The Mundaka Upanishad, the mantra is Bhidyate hridaya granthi chidyante sarva samshaya kshiyante chasya karmani tasmin drishte paravare. Realizing that transcendent, immanent reality, Brahman. You say, what's that? You. The clay is transcendent to the pot, also immanent in the pot. You as Satchidananda, you transcend this universe. You're also immanent in this universe everywhere. Realizing that transcendent, immanent reality as oneself. What happens? Bhidyate hridaya granthi. All the knots of the heart are cut asunder. The knot of ignorance which ties you to this body and mind, thinking I am this, that goes away forever. You are free. You're free forever. You realize your real nature as the absolute. Chidyante sarva samshaya. All doubts are gone forever. It's like a person looking at the sun directly. You cannot convince that person that there is no such thing as a sun. The vision is ever before such a person. No doubt remains after that. No book is necessary, no Vedas are necessary, no Upanishads are necessary, no Guru is necessary. It's the unmistakable experience. Sri Ramakrishna tells Vivekananda asked him, Sir, have you seen God? Sri Ramakrishna said, yes, just as I see you, even more clearly. Even more clearly. And the third effect, it says, Kshiyante chasya karmani. All the past accumulated karmas are destroyed. There is no more karma left for that person. So that person is free. This will be the last birth. There is no more karma being generated, no more karma to be exhausted, as long as... Now, so this is the last birth. After this, there is no more person to be reborn again. Even now, there is no more person. The person has become one with Brahman. Now a question. So this is the answer to the question. No new karma. Past karmas are destroyed. Hence liberation. Moksha. This is the traditional idea. Shankaracharya will cut that down next. He says, generally we understand in Vedanta that Upon enlightenment, I realize I am Satchidananda. Oh, one more thing, let me just add here. It's cute, but it's deeply believed in India. A question is raised. Right, that person knows I am Brahman, so the results will not accrue to that person. But can you say results are not there? In fact, when an enlightened person acts, there are results. Right now, we are enjoying the results, right? See, we are sitting here because of Vivekananda's actions. So an enlightened person acts for the welfare. Christ and Buddha and all the enlightened persons acted, and their actions produce enormous results. So results will be produced. How can you say there are no results? This is a doubt which is raised. When any particular body, mind is acting, it will produce a result. It's simple. I mean, in physics also, you will see in the external world there will be a result. And there will be an effect on that enlightened person, that mind also. So how can you say that the third result, the cosmic result, merit and demerit will not be produced? And the answer in one school of Vedanta is yes, it is produced. The enlightened person's actions all produce merit. They are all good actions. Enormous merit is generated. In fact, the whole Tibetan Buddhist Bodhisattva ideal is based on this. Bodhisattva ideal of Tibetan Buddhists is, he rejects nirvana, the final dissolution. Let me be born again and again as this illumined being, Bodhisattva, who will generate lot of merit by his or her spiritual activities and own sacrifices. And that merit will be used like a cooling shower upon the suffering humanity. I have enormous merit. You are suffering in the world. I give you that merit freely without asking for anything. Your suffering is wiped out. Let all that suffering come unto me. Take all happiness and whatever I have earned, you take it from me. Somebody told the Holy Mother, Mother, I have heard if we touch your feet, you suffer. So I don't want you to suffer for me. Let me suffer the results of my own karma. She smiled and said, my child, how can that be? I will suffer. You remain well. You be happy. That's my mission in life. Somebody said that we heard Sri Ramakrishna suffered, got the cancer and all because he took on the sins of so many disciples, and that's very bad. That should not have happened. And the Holy Mother said, do you think Sri Ramakrishna came to eat rasgullas? It's a Bengali sweet delicacy. Did he just come to eat sweets in this? No. An incarnation of God, one thing is that it releases enormous merit into the world and gives an upward push to the whole of society. So it has results. That's why the cute thing is that in India there's a belief that if you serve a holy person, then you may not have any spiritual goal in mind. You may just want money, somebody wants a child, somebody wants some money, somebody wants diseases to be cured. Serve a holy person, meaning thereby an enlightened person. And all the merit that person is continuously accruing, that will come to you, some of it will come to you, and your desires, worldly desires, very worldly desires will be fulfilled. And it has its basis in an Upanishadic statement. Atmagyam hi archayet bhutikama. Bhutikama means one who wants prosperity in the world. One who wants just success. I will be a millionaire, I will be a successful, New York Times top 20 author, or whatever. I'll win the elections, very important in India especially. You'll find a queue to holy men and temples just before the elections in India. People of all stripes, all political stripes, parties, they make a queue there. Why? The belief, underneath the belief is, there's an enormous amount of merit this person is not using. This person doesn't want anything from that. If I serve this person, if I do something, give a little gift, a gift of food or a cloth or something, what does a monk need? Nothing more than that. But the result for me will be enormous. So a lot of people in India believe that. And the downside is this. If by chance the enlightened person does anything wrong, if there is, in actions there's always possibility of some harm being caused to others. Any bad karma that accumulates, that also does not affect the enlightened person. It affects those who try to hurt that enlightened person. So the good karma of the enlightened person, the merits go to those who serve and love and revere the enlightened person, and the bad karma, whatever remains, goes to those who dvishataha, that means those who are those who trouble or harass. That also is very much there in India. A monk is basically a most helpless creature. No money, no power, no job, no nothing, nobody to protect that person. And yet in India, that a monk wields a lot of respect and a lot of awe among people. I have seen this. Once I was traveling in a train with another monk. And this person, gentleman sitting next to us, he started criticizing monks. I was a novice, so I didn't say anything. And the other monk also kept quiet. And he went on criticizing monks. After some time, the time had come to get down in the station. This gentleman, he got up and suddenly turned around to that monk and caught hold of his feet. And he said, Mahatma ji, bahut kuch keh diya, kshama kar dijiyega. Oh Swami, I said many things in my foolishness, please forgive me. A fear, an unknown fear strikes that person. That's because of this underlying idea. I don't know if that happens really, but anyway. So that's the idea. Now, one more point and I'm done. No more past karma destroyed by knowledge. The fire of self-knowledge burns up past karma. Number one. No more agami, future karma, because it does not generate future karma because there's no sense of doership, akarta. But now the question remains, what happens to the prarabdha karma which has started giving results? This body. If the person is not affected, all the karmas of the person are destroyed. Because the Upanishad says all karmas are destroyed. Then the prarabdha karma also should be destroyed. If it is destroyed, then this body cannot exist. But we see enlightened people, they are living in their body. Ramakrishna lived in his body, Vivekananda lived in his body, and all the enlightened, Ramana Maharshi and all the enlightened persons, they lived in their body until the natural age of the body. Which means the prarabdha karma is still working. How do you explain that? If the prarabdha karma is also destroyed by enlightenment, you know what would happen? The moment you're enlightened, you die. That's not a good selling point for Vedanta. Why are we here? For enlightenment, for Brahma Gyan, for enlightenment, illumination. What will happen? We'll die. There'll always be, ambulances racing back and forth to the Vedanta Society. You call 911, or another one enlightened at the Vedanta Society. A 911 call. No, don't worry. The body will continue. Prarabdha karma continues to give results until it's exhausted. Past karma will not come back anymore. Future karma is not going to come to you. But the prarabdha karma will continue to give results for the body. Of course, the person is not affected because he knows that I am Brahman, not affected at all. He watches like a movie, the body play out its karma. That's the theory. That's the understanding. That's why we have enlightened persons as gurus. Otherwise, an enlightened person, if he dies immediately, then it means all the gurus are not enlightened. They are not dead. So, no. Enlightened persons can continue to be in the body. That means prarabdha karma is still working. And various ways examples are used. It's like a quiver of arrows you have. And one arrow you have shot. And the other one you're going to set on your bow and shoot it. Now enlightenment is like you throw away the quiver of arrows, and the arrow you have in the hand, that also you throw away. You don't shoot any more arrows. But the one which is flying in the air, that will go on and hit its target. So prarabdha is like that, some people say. Some people say it's like the last 2 or 3 revolutions of the potter's wheel. After the potter gets up, the wheel still, they have a potter's wheel. It goes on 1 or 2 revolutions. Like the fan, you switch it off. It doesn't stop immediately. 1 or 2 revolutions, like that. Examples are given. So this is the Advaitic explanation. Why do enlightened persons still continue to live in the body? We are glad that they do, but technically you must give us a philosophical answer, logical answer. This is the answer. Shankaracharya will say, not right. For that, next time. But next time is, you're going to wait for 2 weeks. No class next Friday, and the Friday after that. And then in the last week of January, we again have a Parokshanubhuti class. Day after tomorrow, we are celebrating Swami Vivekananda's birthday with a special talk on Swami Vivekananda and songs and, of course, prasad, food. On Monday, that's the actual birthday of Swami Vivekananda. So at 8:30, we have a short puja. Please do attend both programs. And the Sunday after that, Pravrajika Gita Prana, the nun from our Ridgely Manor, Vivekananda Retreat, Ridgely Manor, she is going to come and speak about everyday Vedanta. So do come. All right. In this class, we'll meet again after 2 weeks. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu.